What's going on, guys? Today's video should be interesting. We're going to find out what would happen if an NHL team used a shooter tutor in net opposed to an actual NHL goalie. So for this, I had to just basically create a player that kind of represented a shooter tutor with the stats. So I did the best I could. As you can see there, the name is simply Shooter Tutor. Next, I'll show you guys all the info. So it's a stand-up goalie, obviously. If you guys don't know, I'll show a Shooter Tutor on screen right now, so you guys can get an idea what I was basing it off of. Obviously, very small 5 holes, so the 5 holes are going to be pretty decent. 2 decent sized holes in the top corners, and then pretty small holes on the side there, but most of the middle's taken up. Same with, like, you know, the lower corners there. So I feel like it's kind of tough to shoot on. I'll show you guys later which team he's going to be playing on. Salary and all that stuff obviously doesn't really matter. After that, handedness left, just because that's what it is in the Shooter Tutor. Now, goalie stance there is 26. I was trying to find one where he's bent over as much as possible, just because in the Shooter Tutor, it's pretty bent over. Also, too, I want him to basically be no taller than the net, so as short as possible, and this stance here makes him as low as possible. So because of that, 5'7" there, that's the shortest height we can get. Now, 219 pounds is actually the heaviest you can make him at 5'7". If you bump it up, he goes to 5'8". So 219 there, 5'7". Again, try to make him as short as possible because the Shooter Tutor is no taller than the net. Also, it takes up so much space. That's why I try to make him as heavy as possible. Fighter, never. The birth year and all that stuff, I don't really think is going to matter, but he's going to be like 20 years old there. As you can see, the rating isn't too great. 52 overall. So that kind of puts him on par with, like, I don't know, a junior goalie or something. So I'm not sure if that's an insult to junior goalies, saying a Shooter Tutor is just as good, but this is kind of my guess. Now, potential AHL other goalie, literally the worst one. Have high accuracy because it's the worst one. Like, he can't really get better. He's literally just a piece of plastic or whatever it is in front of the net. So glove low there, I have at 80. Again, if you look at the hole, there's not really a lot of space there, and he's got the entire bottom covered. So I feel like that actually makes sense. Glove high, 75. So again, in game, he'll actually be moving his glove and making saves. So I feel like a 75 glove high would sort of represent only that top corner of the net. Stick low, also an 80. Again, the entire bottom's covered. And that hole there on the side isn't as big as the one on the top. Stick high, 75 for the same reason as the glove. Now, 5 hole I made a 90. Again, it's a very small hole. It's definitely smaller than a regular 5 hole on a goalie, especially if you're like Ben Bishop or somebody. So I feel like with that small of a 5 hole, a 90 is a fair rating. Obviously, he's not going to be moving at all because he's a piece of plastic in the net. So speed, agility there, the lowest rating possible at 36. Consistency 0 to 2. This is actually the most consistent. He's not a person. He's a Shooter Tutor, so he should be consistent and, like, never moving. Poke check, he literally can't poke check, doesn't have a stick, so 36 there. Endurance, he's never going to get tired, always be in the right spot, so 99. Breakaway put at 50. I feel like, I don't know, if you're coming in on net, maybe, like, there's a 50-50 chance you miss the net or you don't pick a corner or whatever on him. So I feel like 50 is a pretty good rating for that. Rebound control, 36. He literally cannot cover the puck up, so I feel like that's good. Recover, 99. So recover is kind of like getting back into position. So this one's sort of weird as he can't get out of position. So really he's never going to have to recover. So he's always in position. So I basically made that 99, especially just to help him out a bit because he's got a lot of 36 stats there. Same goes for poise, 99. He's not a person, so I feel like he's just max amount of poise there. He can't pass the puck, so 36. Angles there, he literally can't come out of the net, so again, lowest rating possible. Can't play the puck. Aggressiveness, again, he can't poke check or anything. Never gonna get injured though, so he's got 99 durability. And then vision there I put at 50. I feel like we could have made this 36 as well, as he can't move around in the crease to see around guys, but I think 50 honestly would represent just like if you just stood in the net, what your vision would be like. So it puts him to 52 overall, like I mentioned. It's not a great rating or anything, so I'm really curious to see with an NHL defense in front of him and kind of how the stats break down. Like, can a team, we're going to put him on a good team, obviously, still do decent with him in net. So right now, guys, I'm actually going to assign him to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Reason being, they're actually the highest rated team in the game, as well as looking through, and they're actually tied for the highest rated defense. Obviously, defense is huge with helping out your goalie. Tampa, San Jose, and St. Louis all had 90 defense, but the rest of Tampa Bay's team was also better. So I'm thinking, like, best team in NHL in terms of stats in NHL 20, with a Shooter Tutor in net. How are they going to do? And like I was mentioning before, guys, the Tampa Bay Lightning here are the highest rated team in the game at 90 overall. So we'll see, you know, are they a good enough team to carry a Shooter Tutor in net? Should be interesting. And quickly here, guys, I'll give you a look at the lines. I'm actually kind of surprised. Team stats there is still champion, even with the Shooter Tutor being one of the 2 goalies. So quick look there at the forward group. Actually getting some pretty good chemistry. The top 9, all +1. Fourth line there at 0. Defense, all getting +1. Shattenkirk is on the bottom pair, but he's actually on both power play units anyways, so still going to be getting some good ice time anyways. Just quick look there, power plays, the penalty kills. Now, the big thing here, goaltending. So Vasilevsky, they just made the starter again. I gotta put the shooter tutor back in as the starter. Vasilevsky, they're backing him up. Basically just encouragement, I guess, cheer on the shooter tutor. So to make sure that it plays every single game, since it's not a person, like playing 82 games should not be a problem, I'm actually going to go in and turn off auto-rotate goalie, which you can see right here. That way, like I said, make sure he plays all 82 games. And next, you guys, like, if you look at the offense, defense, and goaltending, obviously goaltending's what we're worried about, 71 there. So obviously, he's bringing down Vasilevsky quite a bit. Very curious to see what happens here. Honestly, I have no idea. Like, Tampa Bay could still be a good team, or they could finish last in the league. I have no clue. Alright guys, so we're only 2 games into the season, but I had to pause it here to show you something. We played Florida back-to-back games, won 9-1 in the first game, 3-1 in the second, which means exactly what you're thinking. The shooter tutor in net right now is averaging 1 goal against. I also checked to his stats. He's got 54 saves. I don't think he can keep this up, but that's unreal. And next year, I wanted to show you some actual gameplay of the shooter tutor. As you can see, he is very tiny in the net, but makes a pretty nice save there. Obviously, moving a bit more than we want him to, but I feel like that's okay when you just look at how small he is in the net. And right here, he actually gets sniped on. The corner gets picked, so kind of playing exactly how we want him to. And a pretty big trade just went down, guys. Nashville trading a first-round pick in Ingram for Eric Halla, TVR, and Forsberg. So I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that's a lot more quantity than quality there for their first rounder, but you know, to each their own, I guess. So as you can see, somehow we're a playoff team with a shooter tutor in net. Like, the goalie's rating's 52. I didn't like make him OP or anything. You guys saw half his stats were the minimum you can make him at 36. He's as short as you can make him and as fat as you can make him. I don't get it. 39, 19, and 4 right now at the trade deadline. Like, I don't understand. First in the division there with 82 points. Kucherov's playing unreal, 74 and 62, so maybe the boys in front of him are just playing out of their minds to make up for the fact they got some fabric back in the net, but I still can't believe this. Alright guys, so the season's over. I honestly, I don't know how this is happening. 53, 24, and 5. We got over 50 wins with a shooter tutor in net. Like, 111 point season. I noticed in March too, if you look at the first 3 weeks, we had, I think, 10 wins in 11 games. It's just unbelievable, to be honest. And like every, I don't know, month or so, I keep pausing and checking to make sure the shooter tutor is the one playing and not Vasilevsky, and that's the case. So like, I don't know how it's happening. Maybe Vasilevsky being such a good backup goalie increases the overall goalie rating, and that somehow makes the starter better. I don't know. Kucherov, 96 point season there in 82 games, so he had a really good year. Again, we won the division. I want to show you guys, or I guess I'll show you the goalie stats right here. Like, they don't make any sense. He actually went up in rating, so I thought that was kind of funny. Like, our shooter tutor got better. Maybe, you know, wear and tear or something. Somehow the holes shrinked a little bit and they're hard to score on. I don't know. Point 35, Stammer 76. Obviously, we don't really care too much about these point totals, but it does show the team in front of him is playing quite well. So Vasilevsky somehow got 5 games. I assume that's getting subbed in. But the shooter tutor here did start 82 games, 53, 24, and 5 record, 4 shutouts, which is kind of awesome, a .906 save percentage, and a 2.76 goals against. Vasilevsky's numbers there are actually kind of insane, .936 and 1.64. So, I mean, we could be even better, obviously, with Vasilevsky in net. Again, he went up in overall by 1, with literally the lowest potential you can give him. I don't know, it looks like, you know, a couple of those 36s are now 37s. I still like, look at those stats. He's got 1.5 star reflexes, 1 star puck control, half a star athletic. It just makes absolutely no sense to me. So I actually want to check here and see in the entire league. He's probably, yeah, he's got the most wins. He did play every single game. And save percentage there, like, better than Grubauer. 0.2 behind, or 0.02 behind Connor Hellebuck. He's actually got better goals against. Like, better than Bennington there by 0.01. It's just ridiculous. Also, guys, I find this pretty funny. Our shooter tutor actually got 3 points there with 3 assists. So the guys must have just like banked it off the bottom, back to themselves or something, and that counted as an assist. I'm curious. I'm actually always forget to check this at the end of the year. Did any goalies get a goal? Unfortunately, no. No goalies got a goal. And our shooter tutor actually was tied for the league in terms of goalie points. So that is kind of cool. So speaking of points, we'll see just, wow, Ranton 111, McKinnon 103. So the Avs top line, Landeskog 98, absolutely went off. So next year we'll take a look at where we finished the entire league. We didn't win the President's Trophy or anything. We did win the division though, with, again, piece of fabric in net. We got second in the league. Like, I still can't believe that. Like, I wonder, the guy's 52 overall, and most of his stats are the bare minimum. Like, I wonder what calculations are going on behind the scenes that was actually the case. Columbus there, 66 points. A rough year for them. So we'll see who we play here in the first round of the playoffs. I mean, at this point, I didn't expect to make the playoffs, I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't think we'd finish last just because Tampa is such a good team, but I thought we'd kind of finish high 70, low 80s in terms of point total. The fact that not only do we make the playoffs, we then win the division, I honestly don't know how it happened. I'm kind of shocked, to be honest. So, the Florida Panthers here, round 1 of the playoffs. We beat them 9-1 and 2-1 in the first 2 games of the year. And our shooter tutor there with a couple back-to-back shutouts in the playoffs. Playoffs happen, the dude just turns up for the games. He plays even better. The shooter tutor didn't allow a goal in the first 3 games. 3 shutouts in a row. And a 5-4 OT win there. We sweep the Panthers. Is this the strategy in franchise? You just make a shooter tutor with the player creator, throw him in net, with the Red Wings here in the second round. We should beat the Red Wings. The Red Wings have lost like 9 straight games in real life. And somehow the Red Wings getting the better of us. So clearly a weird sim here. We do, though, take the next 2 games in Detroit, so it's 2-2 now. Okay, maybe we have a bit of a streak going here. We got 3 straight wins. Can we win one of the next 2? Eastern Conference Finals. There we go. 7-4 win. Pittsburgh Penguins now in the Eastern Conference Final. Again, I still can't believe this. Win both first 2 games against Pittsburgh. Game 3. It's a 3-1 win. Okay, so are we going to sweep the Pittsburgh Penguins? No. But do we get by them? Wow. 3 straight there. I'm just going to sim the game. Pittsburgh Penguins game 7. And we do win. I don't know. No words. So the San Jose Sharks here. Really no reason to go period by period. We're just curious, like, the total stats at the end. We can see how many goals our goalie let in. We win the first 2 games. Okay. 6-0 shutout win with the shooter tutor. It looks like we're going to win the cup. I feel like we don't really need to see the celebration. He's just a default character. So let's see. We sweep the Sharks here with a shooter tutor in net in the Stanley Cup final. Yep. 5-4 OT win. Tampa Bay Lightning. Stanley Cup champions. Shooter tutor in net. I've got no words. What the fuck? And the Buffalo Sabres here, guys, actually win the draft lottery again. So kind of insane for them. Lafreniere and Dahlin in 2 or 3 years. Like, I know they missed out on McDavid, but not too bad. Consolation. So Kucherov, 27 points, 21 games during the playoffs. And I mean, even though they went off, like, our shooter tutor still had multiple shutouts. I think he had more shutouts in the playoffs than the regular season. So again, you guys can see our road to the cup. It's kind of insane. Sharks there, Coyotes, Vegas, and the Dallas Stars. So take a look at these playoff stats here. I'm wondering, like, if other players on our team also just went crazy. Yeah, Point there, also at 27. Hedman, 23 as a D-man. That's kind of nuts. Stammer there, 18. Gord, 18 as well. McDonough, 16. Okay. So goalie stats, this is what we care about. It doesn't even show them because it sends them down to the AHL. I don't even know how we're going to see so we got to go to contracts, I guess, to check his playoff stats. Alright, guys, so our shooter tutor is now 56 overall after winning the Stanley Cup. He's actually grown by 4. So again, those holes are just getting smaller and smaller, I guess. Take a look here at his stats. So on the regular season, he had 4 shutouts. I think he had more than that in the playoffs. So season stats, check out the playoff stats here. Actually, he tied it. So he had the same amount of shutouts in the playoffs as he did in the regular season. He went off 15-5, a .926 save percentage, and 2.19 goals against. Like, it's actually just ridiculous. He had another assist there. Again, they just bank it off the bottom of themselves, go up the ice. I don't know how that happens. Like, look at those stats. 5-hole got a little bit better. Some of those 36s are now 38s. It still, like, makes no sense to me. Maybe because, like, his glove and stick were actually decent, which I think was fair, though. Because, like, you look at the hole, it's not that big. If the defense is playing right, guy, you know, takes a weird shot, whatever, it's got to be a really good shot to, you know, pick that corner. So we had to have it at a decent rating. It just makes no sense to me. Honestly, I am dumbfounded. So look at the awards. We won the Cup, and we almost won the President's Trophy. We're like, what, 4 behind the Capitals. Obviously, we get the Prince of Wales as well. So Ranton, Art Ross, and the Hart. Carlson, James Norris, McKinnon, Lady Bing. Capo there with the Calder. Braden Point got the Conn Smythe. I figured either him or Kucherov was winning that. Bishop with the Vezina. He also got the William Jennings. If our goalie, like, I kind of wished he got the Conn Smythe, because how hilarious would that be? Bettman gives the award to just our shooter tutor out on the red carpet. Nemeth there, Bill Masterton. Red Wings coach actually gets Jack Adams. I mean, if they make the playoffs, he definitely deserves it. Bergeron gets the Selke. Ranton there, Ted Lindsay. And then Kucherov here actually had the Maurice Richard. I didn't even realize that, so that is pretty cool. Again, guys, I don't really know what to say. I didn't think we were going to make the playoffs, and we won the Stanley Cup with, even if you don't want to say like a shooter tutor in net, it was still a 52 overall goalie in net. So he played every game for us. No excuses for any of the other 30 teams in the NHL. Like, that's just hilarious to me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Honestly, I had a ton of fun seeing the results. It just blew my mind every single month that went by. I was like, we're actually still doing good? Like, what is happening? So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave that thumbs up. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do that. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.